We see watches all the time, and some watches get tons of compliments. Then there are the watches that make you stop, look, and crave. Hey, there you are, and welcome to My Dude Watch. My name is Jason, and today we're talking about watches that have won you over long before you've read the spec sheets. We're going to look at 11 different watches that are absolutely gorgeous from 11 different brands. You do not want to miss this. This is going to be fun. You know the deal. Grab a snack, pull up a chair, and let's talk watches. And we are just about ready to roll, but first let's do a really quick wrist check. Today I am wearing the Full Speed Wish Do It Tanu. Just take a look at this guy. Now, I'm not going to spend much time on it today because I'm bringing you a full review sometime next week. But I will say, after wearing it for a while, it's definitely not a watch that goes unnoticed. Okay, let's jump right in. Remember, this is 11 beautiful watches from 11 different brands. One watch for each brand. All right, here we go. If you've spent any time around watch lovers, you've probably heard them talk about dial texture. And when it's done right, it looks just awesome. Well, check this Straum out. This is the Jan Mayen, and it takes the idea and cranks it up all the way to 10. Inspired by rugged volcanic landscape of the remote Norwegian islands, it's named after. The dial has depth and texture that almost looks carved rather than manufactured. The first time I saw one, I found myself staring at photographs for far longer than I intended. And I can tell you right now, it was worth every second. The Jan Mayen isn't trying to impress you with flashy colors or excessive polishing. Instead, it draws you in slowly. And the longer you look at it, the more fascinating it becomes. For me, this is the best looking watch Straum has ever produced, and it will take your breath away. Now let's take a swing at something a little bit different. Baltany has become one of my favorite watch brands because they understand restraint. The S4105 isn't trying to overwhelm you with color, complications, or flashy design elements. Instead, everything here just fits. The proportions are excellent. The dial layout is clean. The vintage inspiration is obvious, and I believe this is one of those pieces that gets more attractive the longer you look at it. And if I had to choose one single best-looking watch Baltany has produced, I would say this is it. Zelos is known for pushing boundaries, and the Comet Vulcan 39 might be my favorite example of that. The dial has incredible texture, depth that constantly changes as the light moves. It's unique without trying too hard, and what I mean by that is it's interesting without being overly busy, and that sometimes is difficult to do. And while Zelos has produced plenty of eye-catching, beautiful watches over the years, this is the one that has grabbed my attention and simply will not let go. For me, the Comet Vulcan 39 is the clear winner of all Zelos watches. Now, if you've ever wondered whether a dial alone can sell a watch, Henry Archer is your answer. Now, the Vesterhav titanium purple is mesmerizing. I mean, just check it out. The color shifts, the depth changes, and depending on the lighting and the angles, it can look like it's an entirely different watch. You can see that in these pictures and these videos, but in person, that's where this watch really smashes. Of all the watches Henry Archer has released, this is the one that keeps pulling my eyes back to it. So what do you think? Do they have a better looking piece than this? When most people think of Cronos, they think about great finishing. But this piece, the L6029, reminds me that Cronos can do far more than just that. They can build beautifully crafted dials, excellent bracelets, simply a complete package. There's just something about this watch, the proportions, the dial, the way light plays across the surface. It all comes together beautifully. It's elegant without feeling dressy, refined without feeling boring, and out of everything Cronos has produced, this is the masterclass. I've always felt this is the brand to challenge San Martin of all the AliExpress brands, and they certainly have closed the gap. Mido makes a lot of great-looking watches. The Ocean Star gets plenty of attention. The TV Big Date has become a fan favorite, and there are several others that could have easily made this list. But for me, the Multifort M Freeze stands above them all. The first thing that grabs your attention is the incredible ice blue dial. It's textured and extremely dynamic. And every time the light hits it from a different angle, the watch seems to take a completely different personality. Now, what I love most is that Mido really could have stopped with the dial and called it a day, but they didn't. The angular case design, integrated bracelet, and overall modern styling all work together, and it works together in a way that creates something that feels fresh and distinctive. It's bold without being loud, different without trying to be obnoxious. If you're familiar with this stunner, you know what you're getting. If not, do yourself a favor and check it out. Phoibos has never been afraid to do things a little bit differently, and for me, the Ray Automatic is the perfect example. The first thing that grabs your attention is the dial. It's bold, detailed, and full of character without feeling cluttered, but what really makes this watch special is how everything comes together. The case, hands, markers, the dial all feel like they belong on the same design language. Nothing feels forced, nothing feels out of place. It's unique, instantly recognizable, and one of those watches that keeps drawing your eyes back to it. For me, this piece here is the best looking watch Phoibos has ever made, and they have made a ton of stunners. We all know that San Martin has released a lot of great watches over the years, but when I think about the most beautiful watch they produced, I keep coming back to the SN0144GX. The star of the show is this incredible fume dial. It just transitions from light to dark, and when it does, it creates a depth that keeps changing throughout the day. This guy is elegant, and yet it keeps its reputation beautifully when it comes to refinement. I think that proves that sometimes less really is more. San Martin could have gone over the top with this watch. Instead, they showed restraint, and the result is one of the most attractive watches they've ever made. For me, this is San Martin's golden ticket. And this here is Sugess, and they have produced an impressive number of watches over the years. But the S451 is the high water mark. What a beautiful piece. There's just something about the combination of the dial, the complications, and the overall presentation that just feels special. It has the kind of visual appeal that makes you stop and spend a little extra time looking. And I've learned the more you look, the more details you notice, and then the more you absolutely want this watch. This guy is elegant, sophisticated, and you know what? It is a stunner. And now the gold standard for an affordable Zeppelin timepiece. This brand has built its reputation on creating watches that feel like they belong in another era. I really like this 8462-3, and it is the perfect example of just that. The dial puts a jolt into you. It's detailed without feeling busy, elegant without feeling overly formal, and every element seems to be exactly where it belongs. There's a timeless quality to this watch, and it never goes out of style. This is the kind of watch that looks just as good today as it will in 20 years from now. I think about the most beautiful watch Zeppelin has ever produced. The 8462-3 is the one that immediately comes to mind. And finally, we have Farasute. Now, this was not an easy choice. Farasute had produced several watches that could have made this list, but I kept coming back to the 2260. The tonneau-shaped case here gives itself personality all of its own, while the dial brings together vintage charm and classic elegance in a way that feels timeless. It's the kind of watch that makes you do a double take. Well designed, beautifully crafted, and the longer you spend time with it, the more details you'll notice and you'll appreciate. For me, the sign of a truly beautiful watch is that gravitational pull that won't let you go. And that's why the Farasute 2260 gets my vote for the best looking watch those guys have ever produced. Well, there you go, 11 impressive looking watches that I think are the best from each one of these 11 brands. Some vintage inspired, some modern, some bold, some understated, but all made this list for the same reason. They made me stop, look, and crave. Now, in most videos, this is where I would stop and pick a winner, but I'm not doing that. This is just the ones that I think are the best, and as you know, it's all subjective. So what do you guys think of these 11 watches? Hey, you made it to the end of another video. Thank you for doing that. We appreciate you watching. If you enjoyed what you saw today, please take the time to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It'll only take you a second, but it really does help. All right, guys, I checked the time, and it is time to wrap it up. So we will close the show. My name is Jason with My Dude Watch. We'll do it all again next time. But wait, don't forget, dudes can't be late.
Dudes can't be late.